We do not own the rights to anything or any music that's heard during the duration of this podcast. Also, a lot of these shows will have explicit content. So if you are not a fan of any cursing or profanity, you may want to walk away, but that does not mean that every show will consist of such. I know y'all tired of it, but we got a new season of The Past. Welcome to season 8, the Mamba Year. Podcast available on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all of your podcast platforms. Here you'll get a dose of content related to tech, the productivity world, and most importantly, how to be a better you. The theme for this year, personally, is receiving grace. And we definitely want to do better with receiving it and being open to being a better us from who we were a year ago. So this is season 8 of The Past, and I hope you all enjoy.
So I was going to use today as the opportunity to not do a walkcast, but somehow we'll be outside. So, ta-da, walkcast, impromptu, happy Friday, what's goody, how we libby. Something like that intro, but what's good, y'all? How y'all doing today? We are at the somewhat home stretch, and not gonna lie, man, this week was, yeah, I know it's always, if you've listened to a lot of the Walkcasts, it probably becomes like a repetitive theme of how taxing it is. But this week was, this week ain't play. Like literally did not play. Um, I got through. I'm not ungrateful or difficult in that sense. But man, I swear, you really, when you're not thinking that you gotta put in an extra effort, you gotta put in an extra effort. Um, Starting off, this is like what I like to call Tech 101. And most of my friends know I'm a stickler for this anyway. But if you come outside with your phone and it literally is at a point where your how can I say it? Like, long story short, the worst thing to do is to not charge your phone the night before. In doing so, you suffer. And you suffer in very odd instances, such as I am now with, and I didn't think about this, this is so random. I'm having to carry, for my walk, I'm having to carry what I would call like a quick charge power bank with me just to charge my phone. Now, I'm gonna give y'all some tech information. I usually do these in general, but today I was like, this is a very useful slash resourceful tidbit. Be very aware of what wireless charger you're using. My MagSafe folks, because whether you realize it or not, sure, you're winning in the fact that your phone is getting a charge, but is the phone charging the way it needs to, where it matters most? And this is also my personal hit that I've had to face. There's a power bank that I found that's not one of my traditional brands I would use. And I might be reaching, but I personally feel as though this charger has like affected how my phone charges. And I could be 100% wrong. It could be a mental thing. It could also have been the iOS updates. You know, also random, but relevant. I didn't realize how many apps installed on my phone until I looked. I think it was yesterday. Yesterday or the day before yesterday. And I have like over 400 apps installed. It's just not good at all. Because the truth of the matter is, aka the obvious, I don't use, let alone need, that many apps accessible or utilized. So it's it's a journey, man. Like it's definitely a journey. I shared this in general, but my what was I about to say? My screen. If you, by the time you all hear this, it may keep going. I don't know, but I'm currently on an active quest to try to block out a lot of the big dogs for 10 days straight. And when I say the big dogs, I mean Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I'm not really, one, I've never really been a fan of Snapchat. I think Snapchat is useful for what people use it for. I just don't use it on that level, so I don't have the same thrill about it. Um, LinkedIn, I really like cut back on a lot of apps or a lot of screen time. I think lately, even in just natural pickup of phone usage, on an average, the last few days has been, give or take, I would say less than 4 hours a day. And even that is just, it's just me in the habit of picking up my phone. I don't need anything off of it. There's nothing that I'm accessing specifically because everything's bricked. All the apps are locked out. Um, the company itself did announce that they're doing some updates to the app, which I'm pretty excited about. So I'm definitely supporting them there on that level. But yeah, this week is it's been a very unique adjustment with just trying to be. Everything lately has been just being there for Brian. Um, a lot of people have, when I've shared this sentiment or gave this message, it's the same message or the same response of you got to put you first. You got to put you in the driver's seat, and it's not wrong, nor is it invalid. Um, my one observation too has been how key it is to get back to the basic things. The basic things, for some reason, have been left off the table, and I'm noticing a difference when they are left off the table. Uh, I'm not gonna really go into specifics about those now. I just say I watched a video that broke a lot of that down and really made me begin to see how important that is. Um, I think the bigger eye opener, without me knowing it, has been uh, I've and it's so crazy because I share. I don't know. Like when you're in a position to upload or share like content or share thoughts, you don't realize how important it is to share whatever it is when you have it, because by the time you realize to do it, the moment's gone or you just don't have an opportunity to do it. So a few days ago, talked with someone who's been on the podcast before. Shout out to Anisha. She literally was she's been very helpful and very resourceful in my growth journey and vice versa. Um, and I just had like an open, honest dialogue with her about business, about life, and other things. And why I'm bringing that up is because we literally had the conversation about how sometimes it can be really challenging when you're like not doing those simple things to like get you into a better position. And being fully transparent with myself on this podcast, my fun thing or my thing that's been lacking has been having fun. And having fun does not mean, let me be clear, it does not mean going out and getting drunk. It does not mean going out and dancing like I ain't got no life. It does not mean going somewhere to eat just to go somewhere to eat. Having fun is going to a pool hall to play pool. Yes, there's drinking involved. Yes, there's food involved. But it's not to the extent of, okay, I'm playing pool to get drunk. Usually those things don't match and never have, but it is what it is. Um, Something such as like, believe it or not, some people might not look at this as fun, but going and doing these walks in the morning have been fun for me from a reflective standpoint, but also just a physical improvement standpoint, if you will. Um, we sometimes in our lives don't realize we need something to incentivize or motivate us to like do the thing or get the thing done, even if we don't want to do it. And this has been forcing me to get the thing done because I didn't want to get up and do no walk. If it was up to me, I would just stay home and chill and be great. But her and I had that convo, or had that text convo to some extent, about just me needing to have more fun and me learning to like give my inner child more attention. So that's layer one. Layer two, I go on, because mind you, I have apps locked on my phone, but not on my tablet. Now, Brick is working on that. When they work on that, that's gonna be a problem because once I'm able to brick and lock my iPad, it's a wrap. um, but on my iPad, I have TikTok installed. So I went, found my stand, got my microphone, hooked up everything, sat down and did like a good old quick 1-2. A nice little video for maybe about 4 or 5 minutes. Upload a video, thought everything sounded fine on the video. Turns out I was 100% wrong. The video did in fact have some audio issues, meaning that I had to take it out from being uploaded. I kind of had a little bit of a battle with that element, and was like, all right, well, what do I do? How do I got a message, but I didn't let it like. Obviously, I didn't let it be my tell all be all. 85 to 90% chance, if not higher, there will be a newsletter related to it, and I can kind of write and get the thoughts out there for that particular message. Well, Brian, why are you sharing all this? What does this have to do with anything? Well, one, You don't realize it until you're in the midst of it. But in many instances, how we manage and keep track of our levels of life is key. And anyone that's known me or has interacted with me knows that I am a stickler for a good planning session or organization flow or whatever. All well and good. But just as much as you have those like real times and serious times, you sometimes need those fun times. You need those times to just like unplug, to get away. Because even a friend of mine asked me the other day, and it was a valid question. She was like, so you have that time or that opportunity to disconnect and break your phone. What do you do while you have your phone bricked? That was a good question. Because in some cases, the answer is nothing. In some cases, the answer is overproductive myself, as in just do a bunch of shit that I normally would have been doing, would have not been doing if I didn't have the phone locked. There's there's ample options and ideas and thoughts behind that as to what gets done during that period. And lately, there have been a fair amount of do nothing pockets that I've just kind of set and just not peopled, and it feels good. Um, so circling back, and this is almost like a bring back to the original. Circling back, like the original thought is like normally whenever I go to sleep, like a lot of people, they always tell you not to charge your phone at night, all this other stuff. I use chargers that are pretty smart with being aware to charge your phone at night. They'll know like, okay, it's gotten 100%. We don't need to go crazy pushing more juice to this phone. So lately, I've been keeping the phone charged, all well and good. Well, this last night, I forgot to put the phone on the charger. I was tired. I was tired, and when I woke up, phone this morning said 9%, which from a person like me, who many folks know, I'm a stickler and I am like huge on like keeping your phone at like a good percentage for whatever reason. I was like, this ain't it. So this morning, as soon as I got up, I was like, I know I got a power bank. I know I got one that's full. I found one of my little Anchor slash pop socket MagSafe chargers that were that was full, and I went ahead and like snapped it to the back of my phone. And since then, I'm at like 30. I think I'm at like 35% now. Yeah, 35%. So to get 26% from it, and out of the four buttons on the bottom of the charger, if you know, you know, two of them have gone out, or two of them are remaining. It's been an interesting morning so far. Not like I said, not in a bad way, but I brought that up and I mentioned it earlier because now I'm realizing it's time to invest in higher wattage portable MagSafe chargers because seven and a half 7.5 watts is almost equivalent to you going old school when you would charge your not even the 12. I would say the 10s and maybe the 11. I'd say the 11. I think the 11 was when we were starting to see USB-C become a conversation, like see USB-C to Lightning. But recently, you can't like I've almost I've almost, for lack of a better term, cussed people out for charging their phone with like an old school USB charger to Lightning or even a USB to USB C because you're literally putting lower wattage and lower current into your phone And it's like you're almost in so many ways you're deadening the phone more than you are like helping keep it charged. And for a lot of people, they don't realize the magnitude of that, or they don't think about it on like a on a granular scale. Like even and many of my friends who are Android users know, like I don't have angst or beef about the infamous Android and iPhone BS because I think it's a I won't even say a marketing ploy. I won't say any of that. I think it's a companies are doing what companies need to do, which is get and retain business. And if you really look at it over the last, I don't know, 5 years, it's almost forced people to become so emotionally biased as to what phone you use. Like if I woke up and I wouldn't have I'd have no shame doing it. If I woke up one day and decided, you know what, I don't want to use my iPhone anymore. I'm converting. I would keep all now. Let me be clear. All my other Apple products still gonna stay the same. But um my phone, bye. Let that bad boy go. Let it go in a heartbeat. Um, but I say that because for whatever reason, there's such a huge and it's so it's like I can tell I'm wired different because I'm like the exact opposite. Like a lot of my friends, a lot of folks that I've worked with in tech all use Android. And for whatever reason, I don't have a care about any of that stuff. And lately it's like even WWDC, which I'm gonna definitely boy, we got a lot of a lot of content to get into about that about that presentation. There were a lot of features that were being brought up that many Apple users have been like, "Yo, we've been waiting for this forever. Like, what took so long?" And meanwhile, you got Android folks like, "We've been had that." Like, but then on the flip side, like a lot of people have had features but never used them. Like, I don't know anyone personally that has an Android that I've ever heard say that they schedule text messages. I just haven't. Um, for me personally, it's a huge uptick or a huge upgrade because I've been trying to find a way to schedule morning quotes, and I'm never able to because the only way you can do it through Apple is you got to use like a third party app, and most of them are not free, and most of them are gonna be restricted based on not just the encryption option, but also how Apple's very proprietary about product usage. So I'm gonna show my age, and I don't care how bad I'm judged about it. Compaq, when they were out, Gateway, when they were out, were very famous for this. Where they were very proprietary based or very like specific with their products. Meaning, if you had a Gateway computer, you couldn't use other accessories with that computer. Case in point, if it was a um, HP or Dell keyboard, they would claim that it wouldn't work. And the thing is so bad, not to go down the tech rabbit hole, but to go down the tech rabbit hole, they would like accessories back in the day to connect to a mouse. Like connecting a mouse and a keyboard back in the day were horrible because the mouse was a pink, not pink, purple like port, and keyboard was a green, like turquoise green. And over time, companies started to realize this is stupid. Why are we making people have to connect based on these color coordinated uh, accessories? If you got a mouse, if you got a keyboard, if they have a cord, if it's USB, plug it in. plug and play, or as the tech term used to be used, plug and pray. Because you was praying it was gonna work, because some stuff worked, some stuff didn't work, or some stuff would work, but it would say, hey, it would work, but you need this, you need to install this program or install this application or add these drivers, which now majority of computers are pretty much hardwired or built in with like an immense amount of drivers. Again, tech talk that might go over a lot of people's head, but seeing the evolution of computers and technology is mind blowing on so many levels. Um, but yeah, the Apple convention, like I said, I'm going to talk about WWDC more on the podcast. I would say that I would do a show tomorrow, but I don't see me doing a show tomorrow only because I have a very like stacked Saturday. So it's putting me in one or two positions of either doing the show Sunday, which I don't want to rush a show on a Sunday, or um, one of my days that I'm home and have the opportunity to just hopping out the microphone and doing the show. So we'll see. We'll see where things are on that. But yeah, the MagSafe wireless, they call it now Qi 2 compatible. I believe you can charge up to 50, if not 22 watt max for Anchor. So I'm really contemplating on getting one of those. Plus, and this is a minor thing, but a big thing to me, I'm beginning to become a fan of the power banks with percentages on them. Case in point, the one, and I should have known it when I got it from TikTok. It was like I saw it and I was like, this is a nice looking power bank. And when it came in and I looked at it and I was like, this is not even Anchor. This is like a, a knockoff version of Anchor that has like similar looks and feels. And when I used it, I realized like you could put it like if my phone was at a low charge. I like they tell you with most power banks, just like let it turn burn down, get to 0%, and then fully charge it back up. So I did that, and also, and this is such a rookie thing that I'm big on, but this is something I'm sharing with you all as like consumers or buyers of products. If you ever buy a power bank and they give you a USB-C to USB-A cord, it's gonna charge slow. It's going to charge slow. It's not intended to be a fast charging accessory. So I share that because I have the power bank that I have connected now, as well as the other Anchor 622 MagGo that everyone's been like virally excited about. I think that one was low, so that's why I was like, it was good that I didn't find it, but they both came with a USB C to USB C cable. If you see that, it's okay, we're good. If you see USB C to USB A, like the old school USB, like you plug into a computer, you might as well just not use it. Which again, it goes back to like literally when I first walked out. I was like, that charger, that power bank may or may not have ruined my phone. And I don't know if it has or hasn't. I haven't really been invested enough to look at the percentage of the battery usage. Like the battery, because normally what I'm always looking at, and I'm gonna check it now while I'm sitting here, while I'm walking. Um, okay, interesting. Yeah, the battery. So the battery percentage says it's still 94%, which since November, but because I got the phone in November. Since November, that's pretty good. Because I've seen some people that had a phone and it literally gets to like I don't know 80 some percent in like a few months. But it's because they've done the infamous things that I tell people not to do. Like the worst thing, and again, this is probably, if you've heard my podcast enough, you've probably heard me preach about this to the point of no return. The worst thing you can do with a phone is use it while it's charging. I've literally put myself in arguments with people, and not intentionally, but I've ended up in arguments with people who do this, and I'm like, I don't know if you understand, or I don't know if you care to understand, but you are hurting your phone more than helping it by using it while it's charging. The worst, one of the biggest pet peeves that I have about people when it comes to phones. Like half the time, and this is no joke, no lie. Half the time, I don't like giving my cables to people because if I know they're gonna do that, I will give them the worst cable that I know. Like, hey, if you free the cable or it don't work no more, I can deal with it not working. Also, and hopefully they hear this. Apple, y'all need to start making the nylon braided cables available in store. Now, if they already are in store, my bad. I don't really personally go into an Apple store to look for it. But on the flip side, it would be nice to have that option or resource available as a consumer. Because, in my opinion, I think those are better cables. Rubber cables are fine. They do their job, but they're not very friendly. When I say they're not very friendly, I mean it in the sense that I'm always the one flaw about nylon unknowingly is nylon, the bend, how often a bend can be a concern. But also from a non-nylon standpoint, the rubbers, same thing. Like if you've been like I just recently bought a USB hub that I think now is like it directly connects via USB-C. And when I plug it into my laptop, it works great. But I'm always thinking about if it's unplugged for too long, or not even unplugged for too long. If it's like from constant plug and unplug, the end of the cable that is where the USB-C hub is, it literally you can see the inside. Like once I'm using a charger. Also, this is another tech tip, by the way. If you ever use a charger or a cable, and you can see the inside of the cable, as far as like the other little cords that no one should ever publicly see, throw it in the trash. Throw it in the trash or stop using the cable. Like you've literally gotten your money's worth out of that cable, or the cable did all it can do, and that's okay. This power bank actually could charge my phone up to 50%. It's good to know. Definitely gonna start using these more often. Uh, but yeah, this walk has been, and of course, it's funny when I walked at the tennis court, no kind of background noise, but as soon as I get away from it, birds and everything all doing the usual. But I'm gonna close it out here. And I didn't notice. So I'm gonna share this before I go. I didn't realize until yesterday, or not yesterday, a few days ago, that this whole time I thought that I only had 3 hours worth of storage for the podcast, which to you all means not much of anything, but to me it means that each month I was thinking I only was allowed to upload up to 3 hours worth of audio. In fact, I'm actually able to upload 6 hours. So that's giving me more window and more time with when I go out and do my walks, doing shows that way. Uh, Long story short, it expands the palette with creating and uploading content. So there will be. a bit of a spike in audio and recordings. I don't know yet. I'm still trying to learn it. How do I want to group these shows? Because they're not really, they're unfiled, but unfiled or untitled, I guess, for what they would be grouped as. But I do want to start grouping all my walkcasts in like one bucket. Like I have season 6, season 7, season 8, etc. And going from there. But we are progressing through June. This is a monumental point for me of the year. Eventually I will talk about it. Especially with it being the 10th year of it. And we're not letting it be a negative view. I'm letting it be a reminder of where I was. And this will kind of go into a genuine closeout or finishing of this walkcast. Sometimes we don't realize what we do or don't have, or how blessed or how thankful we should be. For instance, right now, even with me not being a fan of doing these walks or runs or jogs or whatever, there are people right now who cannot even get up and walk. There are people who cannot get up and, simple stuff. It hit me harder when I thought about the fact that, especially since I worked in IT, not one single time, and some of this isn't a big deal, but to me personally, this is huge. Not one single time has my phone been turned off. And I've seen folks that have had their phone service shut down. I've seen it where folks have had to literally live and breathe off of Wi-Fi calling. I've seen it where people have had to rely on Facebook audio. I've seen it all. So now, when I look at that and I think about where I'm at now, I really have to remember not to take those things for granted. And in some cases, it's hard not to, but it becomes hard to when you are throwing yourself in the space of taking it for granted. So working on that and continuing to be more patient with myself through this process, because obviously it ain't intended to be easy, because if it was, we'd all be doing it right. And the amazing part of it is we're all genuinely figuring it out. So that's the message I'm gonna leave y'all with to end this walk. And I hope you all have an amazing day, have an amazing weekend. I'm not sure when you'll hear this show, but it's being posted on Friday. You'll see the dates. Hopefully the dates have not been confusing people on Buzzsprout. If it has, tough cookie. But it's been my way to keep track of when I've talked or when I've done a show and when to upload. So if you know, you know. But until next time, BT signing out. Catch y'all next time.
Truly hope you all enjoyed the show. Definitely was a lot to unpack, but I know you'll walk away with something important. As I share at the end of each season, do find your way to get into podcasting if it's something you would like to do. My podcasts are currently recorded via Buzzsprout. Been very good to me. If you want to learn more about using them, definitely hit me up at thepastbtpod@gmail.com. And also the microphone that you're hearing me on is the Blue Yeti X. Have been rolling with it for over 3 years. We've been doing this ride for quite some time, so I hope someone could find this mic useful. Again, find those people who are good or helpful in what you're trying to do to be better today than you were yesterday.
The primary goal is to be 1% better. Hope you all have an amazing day, and we'll be back again to do this next time.